complicated, but surely there are facts we can agree on. Like how gravity keeps us grounded.
Ah, gravity. A fine example. But what is gravity without perspective?
Chapter 2. The Behavior in the Room.
Concepts are not meant to last. Don't hold to them. Concepts are like food. Use them only as needed. Holding on to too many only weighs you down, and there's no use arguing over them. Everybody knows that although they appear to be objective, the experience is only known by the subject. They're meant to be used and discarded. Holding tightly to concepts is not just a religious problem, it's a science problem.
What?
Why is it a science problem? Because even where there is science, there is always a behavior in the room.
Graduate school for me was unlike any other school era in my life. Finally, I was curious. I knew what questions to ask, and I was learning how to approach these questions in a rigorous manner. And I fulfilled my good teacher's wishes of fulfilling my potential. One of the assumptions of science we learned to hold to in our practice of searching for answers was that results were tentative, meaning nothing was absolutely true. The results we found to be true would likely one day be false, or if not false, at the very least, our conclusions would become inadequate. We also learned to be pragmatists, meaning we wanted to find effective solutions to the presenting problems. As I was learning about the concepts and principles of a science of human behavior and its applications for our society at large, I was also becoming skeptical about the behavior of many practitioners in the field. One group of my fellow students and some of our professors seemed to wield scientific powers in school or at work. But when it came to their own behavior or that of their friends and family, they fell back on explanatory fictions. In Catholic language, this would fall into the category of venial sins. These errors could be forgiven of the scientist of behavior. Unfortunately, though, the second group might not be so lucky, for they fall in the mortal sin category. These scientist practitioners commit the sin of being right, like absolutely right. Let's pause my story for a moment and discuss the greater story of humanity. This will not be academic in nature, nor will any of the elements of this story be supported with empirical evidence. How unscientific of me.
Many moons ago, or maybe it's more relevant to say many suns ago.
That don't make no sense.
Take 2.
Many appearances of the sun ago, humans were so sure of themselves they thought the planets and the sun revolved around the earth. Then along came a person, and he said, "But it doesn't make sense this way. Maybe we've been wrong this whole time. Just maybe the sun is the center of the universe." The people of that age did not like to hear it. Probably because this model of our solar system, which at the time of this controversy was probably called the Earther system, made people feel less important, less like the universe revolved around them. Which is understandable coming from the way we humans like to view ourselves. Flash floor. Flash forward to many, many more appearances of the sun. This time, humans knew or thought to know that the sun seemed to rise, but it was more likely that the appearance was a perception caused by the Earth revolving around the sun. And finally, at some point, people had become okay with this concept of the solar system, because at least they knew when the Earth started. Humans were there at the beginning.
Humans back on top.
Regardless of what spun around what. Who cares if we go around the sun? At least we've been here from the start. Wait, what? Then confusion again rose up in the minds of the humans. This time the people thought,
how can we be the most important stuff on Earth if we weren't the first ones here? Or if we came from organisms that have fewer cells than we do?
Others thought,
yeah, how can we be the best thing since sliced bread if we came after sliced bread?
But someone quickly added,
that's what that statement means. To be the best thing since sliced bread.
Then an argument arose that humans have always been better than bread. Not only better since sliced bread has been sliced.
Leaving that argument alone for now, let's continue with other human arguments that have arisen. To recap, people got pissed when someone said the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. Then later, people got pissed when someone said that people evolved from lesser organisms. Then, and this was not too long ago, someone proposed that the behavior, actions, words, thoughts of humans was just as lawful and therefore as predictable as all the other stuff in the natural world.
They shouldn't have said that.
But they did say that, and back at our school, where we were being trained to become masters of human behavior, we learned that human behavior was a product of circumstance. This was the answer we had stumbled upon, empirically, after my friend had suggested turning the tables on our unsuccessful late-stay program with our juvenile delinquent. And now, not only is a behavior scientist claiming the very same thing, but we have read articles published in scientific journals for decades demonstrating the mechanics of how behavior operates in an environment and how in turn the environment selects which behaviors will remain and which will die out. Let me tell you folks, humans do not like hearing this.
First you tell us we aren't the center of everything. Next you say we weren't first. Now you're saying we don't have control of our own selves? Lenny, guess what comes next? You're going to tell me that I am not even myself.
Put a pin in that last claim. I'm not sure we're ready for this yet. Back to school. Finally, the answer to my question about why students exhibit severe behavior in school. The behavior was not coming from somewhere inside the kids. It was being selected out by their environment. Who was their environment? We were. But who selects out the behavior of the teachers and parents? The environment. But who makes up the environment? We do. Oh shit, I thought. The humans definitely won't want to hear this, even from a master. Which I was not. But I was damn sure training to be.